Hey guys, Troy Francis here. Look good, dress well, approach consistently, and with intent. That's kind of it, really. The dating process gets so overcomplicated by guys. And obviously, as a dating coach, somebody who's releasing content about this stuff, I massively add to that because sometimes I think that we get lost in the weeds of this stuff and we don't sit back and recognize actually how simple this is. Okay, now a person who was really good and actually really influential, a blogger from a few years ago who's not super active, I don't think now online, although I think he is on Rumble perhaps, is a guy called Good Looking Loser. Okay, a blogger called Good Looking Loser. You can still find an archive of all of his old blog posts available if you Google Good Looking Loser, Chris, I think his name is, and you'll find all of his old posts. Now, I'm a bit late to the party with his stuff, to be honest. I was always familiar with him. I knew his name and stuff back in the day. This is like the earlier 2000s, but I never really engaged with his content. And it was actually James Tusk that got me into it again, or got me into him recently. And I've read a lot of his blog posts now. And the great thing about Good Looking Loser is that his message is extremely stripped down and extremely simple. And it's a real breath of fresh air when compared to a lot of the other sort of game dating advice that you get out there, which seems to massively just overcomplicate everything. Good Looking Loser's whole thing was basically, he was this bodybuilder type guy, obviously, pretty good looking as far as the name suggests. Bodybuilder type guy. He was living in Los Angeles, and his whole thing was like, look, you've got to look as good as you can. You've got to approach. You've got to look for high interest from women and availability, sexual availability. Okay. And those are the two things. Those are the two things that are going to make a key difference. All right. He said, usually the outcome of an interaction is kind of predetermined anyway, right? When you go up, because it really does depend on those things. Like, so firstly, is she into you at all anyway? And what Good Looking Loser says, and I believe there's truth in this, is that you don't have to be a male model. You just have to be a bit better than average, So you got to looks max, or whatever you want to call it. You've got to looks max to the best of your ability. Get your looks up to as high a level as you can, whether that's through whatever means you're going to use. Obviously exercise is the key thing, but grooming, some cosmetic stuff, sort your skin out, all that kind of stuff. If you could just look so that you pass her looks threshold, okay, so she's not like, oh my god, that guy is disgusting. She's like, okay, right, he's okay, he's decent. So you pass that level, which is not a hugely high bar. Then you want to check for, okay, interest. Is she actually open to you? Is she amenable to you at all? Now, Torero used to talk about the three separate groups of women out there. So you would have the yes girls, the no girls, and the maybe girls, okay? Starting with the no girls. The no girls are those girls who, whatever you did, you could come out with the cleverest line, you could come out with the cleverest piece of rhetoric or, day game routine or whatever that's ever been devised by humankind, and she would still shoot you down because she's just not into you. You're just not her type. She's just not feeling it. And that's the same with every guy on the planet, pretty much. Okay. Every guy on the planet, there's going to be some women who are just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. Okay. So you can take those ones out of the equation immediately, because whatever you do, you're not going to achieve anything with them. So they're gone. Okay. Then you've got the polar opposite to that, which is the yes girls. And these are girls who just think that you're amazing. They're just into you. They like your look. They think you're hot, whatever. They just like you off the bat. Okay. And with those girls, you can still mess it up with those girls 100%. But with those girls, it's a fairly straightforward-ish process, as long as you don't mess something up in order to move things forward with them, okay? Because they're just open to you anyway. They just like you anyway, okay? And the magic secret is that the more approaching you do, the more consistent you are with approaching, the more of them you're going to meet. Okay, because they're not necessarily going to just throw themselves in front of you if you're just walking around and not talking to anybody. But if you're out there and you're socializing, you're meeting a lot of new people, you're going to come across more of these yes women, because that's just how it is, you know. But you still need to be putting the running in terms of making approaches. And then you've got this other group who are sort of like the maybe women, and they're kind of like, yeah, he's okay, he's decent, he's still got all his own hair, he's got a nice dressing gown, but I'm not sure yet. I need to see a little bit more. I need to see, you know, I need to know a bit more about him. Like, has he got that vibe? And this is where you get more testing, you know, shit tests, and she's kind of pushing at you know, to see what kind of a dude you are. Okay, so it's and it's always said that it's those ones in the middle, those maybe women, where the game is played. You know, those are the ones that you can maybe, you know, you if you go on a date with her, a couple of dates, you give her some riz, you're charming, you're charismatic, you're fun to be with. She starts to think, oh, actually, hang on, I like this guy. I can see something happening with this dude, and she starts to like you more. So those are the girls where there can be an element of finesse can work in order to, you know, progress things with them. The yes girls just like you anyway, and the no girls just don't like you at all. Okay. But anyway, so really, as a guy, the key thing is to play the hand that you've been dealt. Okay. So yes, you can have cosmetic surgery. Yes, there's different procedures you can get done, but pretty much, you know, your looks are your looks. Okay. Let's deal with that. Your height is your height. So let's deal with that. Can I wear some shoes that maybe make me look a bit taller? You know, are there some like different, maybe I can wear black. Is that going to help with the silhouette? Whatever. Your fitness, though, obviously that is within your control. So you want to work on that. Your fashion is within your control. So you want to work on that. Your grooming is within your control. So you want to work on that. Okay. Any of these visual cues that you can control, you want to control them in your favor. Okay. So those are definitely things that you can do. Your finances are within your control. Okay, the job you have is within your control. Your life is ultimately within your control. Now, you may say, well, it isn't because of this factor and that factor. But if we're going to take radical responsibility here, if we're going to say, no, actually, I'm taking accountability here. Everything is my fault. I can fix this. I can sort this out. Okay, that's really how we want to be viewing life. We want to be like, no, I'm not gonna let this thing get me down. I'm gonna transcend and ascend. Because I'm a capable man and I know that I have the power to do that. All right. So looks, your baseline looks and your height aside, everything else is sort of within your control. So you want to max out everything. Okay. But particularly on the aesthetic visual front, because, you know, we live in a pretty shallow society. Women are visual creatures, maybe not quite as much as men, but they certainly like a good looking dude. So you want to sort of just ensure those things are on point as much as possible. Then, and this is the bit where people immediately fall down, then you've just got to approach consistently. And it's not about some kind of crazy early 2000s day game thing where you're going to a shopping mall and you're just speaking to all these girls outside McDonald's, like some weird kind of shit. It's not about that. It's just about in your daily life, as you're walking around, as you're engaging people, as you're meeting people at like business events or on the way to work, or you go to a party, or you're at a bar, or you're in the hotel lobby or at the airport or whatever it is, and you see somebody that you're attracted to, are you able to hold eye contact with them, initiate and hold eye contact with them? Are you able to go over and start a conversation? Are you able to go over and then when you have that conversation, are you able to make that move in a particular direction that ends up with you basically exchanging phone numbers or contact details at the end? Okay, that's what you need to be doing, and you need to be doing that consistently. And that's what I meant when I said approaching with intent or with intention, because these aren't just random conversations. I mean, they kind of are, but ultimately there's an outcome that you have in mind, which is I would like to get to know this woman more. And obviously, in order to do that, there needs to be some sort of call to action at the end. You know, you need to get her phone number, you need to have a way to contact her, or you need to take her for another drink or somewhere else immediately then. Okay, so those really are the things, and it really is very, very simple. You know, we massively overcomplicate this stuff. Now, there are certain other principles that are important that can be learned. Okay, and I would say principally things like not putting her on a pedestal is important. So I think you have to go in conscious of your own value. In fact, absolutely, you know, your value is at the front of your mind. You're very, very conscious of that. You recognize that, yes, she's great, she's pretty, she's intelligent, whatever, but actually you're also of high value, and you're working on yourself, so you're getting high value all the time. So you're bringing something to the party. So you want to be sort of qualifying her a bit. Well, is she cool? Is she really somebody I want to spend time with? Is this the kind of woman I really want to bring into my life? So not putting her on a pedestal. And then things like, touch is very powerful. Not being afraid to be flirtatious, not trying to hide your intent, not being afraid to showcase or reveal the fact that you have a sexual side, that you are a man, you're interested in her as a woman, because you think she's attractive, you'd like to get her to know her more, but in that context. Okay, are you able to own that unashamedly, but not in a creepy, weird way? And then just rinsing and repeating, basically. Now, I think a lot of the time people will come to the internet because they want to find sort of crazy little tricks or techniques or things that they think are going to make the process easy. They want the cheat sheet, don't they? They want the 6 steps that will get any attractive woman into bed, whatever. They want that stuff, and they want to believe it exists. Of course, the reality is it doesn't exist. What you need to do is maximize yourself on all fronts, be social, take risks, take some social risks, be intentional, that is to say, move things forward to the outcome you want. So you don't have a 10-minute conversation with a girl who is really, really friendly and really smiley and laughing at all your jokes, and then just leave without getting her phone number. That you have to move towards the end game. It's your responsibility. But if you keep doing that and you're consistent with that, then you will start to get results. And the reality is that most guys are not doing all of those things, or at least they're falling down somewhere. Okay. Usually it's the approaching. Often, though, to be honest, it's the looks maxing, or it's the looking after themselves. They're not doing that either. I mean, listen, basically, if you're kind of out of shape, you're not well dressed, you're not earning much money, you're kind of living a boring lifestyle, and you're not approaching, in 2023 in dating, you're pretty screwed, really. I mean, really, why is that going to be attractive? Like, what woman is really going to find that attractive? Really? When she's on Instagram and she's looking at Chad on his yacht in Dubai or whatever. I mean, why are you suddenly going to be this appealing object of desire for her? I mean, you're just not, are you? So we all have to level up. But the great thing is that the leveling up process is enjoyable, and it's ultimately satisfying because we are becoming better men in the process. Okay, then we just need to be proactive. We need to go out there. We need to have those conversations. We need to face down the fear of rejection, take action anyway. We need to bring fun, positive energy. Okay, and we want to not be afraid to be flirtatious. To own our authentic, feelings of desire and whatever else, within a respectful framework, of course, and take it from there. And if you do that, and you keep doing that, and you keep working on yourself, you keep improving, the dating stuff really will slot into place. Okay, so have a look at the good-looking loser stuff. Don't overcomplicate all this stuff. It really isn't rocket science. Okay, it really isn't rocket science. The main thing really is not to get bogged down with the minutiae of it, not to get depressed and down on yourself. And also as well, I'll do another video about hormones, but getting your hormones checked also is a valuable thing to do for various reasons, to make sure you're firing on all cylinders. And yeah, that's it really. So for more advice, for more tips like this, do subscribe to the channel. Do give me a comment beneath, a like as well, help to boost the algorithm. You can, if you want to do coaching with me, you can get on a free 15-minute call to discuss options of coaching. Link is below. You can also grab my collection of 11 books about dating, game, and the sexual marketplace called Renegade Dating Blueprint. The link is below, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.